Okay, I'm gonna share with you two of my craziest life stories and how the Lord has always been so faithful, how He always fight my battles for me, and that to encourage you that whatever you're going through, that He will never leave you nor forsake you, even in your darkest, most painful moments. Like He is working behind the scenes in gazillion ways you can never imagine for your own good and His glory. So back when I was 18 or 19, I was in a forbidden relationship because my dad was very conservative, so he didn't allow me to date anyone until I graduated college. But rebellious me did it anyway. But this dude was not a good dude, okay? He was like verbally and emotionally abusing me. He treated me like useless trash because you know how my mom treated me when I was a kid. Like that's the only form of love I knew, so I thought being like abused and being treated like trash, that was the only form of love I knew. But anyways, I let him do whatever he wanted. I gave him whatever he wanted, right? But he had a gambling addiction, so he asked me to borrow my school tuition to basically gamble. And so my stupid younger me allowed that. And when tuition was about due, I asked him for the money back, right? And he said no. He actually, if I remember it correctly, asked me for even more money. And the stupid younger me would have given it to him if I had more money, but the thing is, I didn't. So I didn't have a choice to tell my dad, and my dad was pissed, okay? He was mad. Like, I've never seen my dad this mad before. So it was just wild. Like he basically took my passport away, so I couldn't go back to the States to continue my college. He basically like quarantined me in the house for a year. I couldn't go anywhere without his permission, and whenever we went to public, he would basically publicly shame and scream at me, saying I'm stupid, I'm a failure, blah blah blah, and telling all his friends and families, and his friends and families did the same thing. So it was just a very dark, hopeless moment for me, and I wanted to escape my dad. So I was staying at my aunt's house, and my ex-boyfriend's mom's house, and my grandpa's house. It was just crazy. But my aunt said, hey, you should go back to your dad's and maybe he will give you your passport back. So with so much fear in my heart, I went back to my dad's house, and I didn't know what he's going to do to me. And so by God's grace, he actually gave me the passport back. Okay. And like literally the same day, I was calling my aunt. Okay, I got the passport back. So she came pick me up. It was like a movie scene. And like we went to the embassy to extend my visa. And a couple of days later, like we booked the flight and she sent me off. Like I was on the plane seat, on the window seat, like, okay, what am I gonna do now? Like, I don't know where I'm gonna stay. I don't know how I'm supposed to pay for school. But the Lord is so faithful. Like 3 days before school started, the Lord provided me with a room, um, whose like the owner of that house was either pastor or an elder, and he plugged me into a life group with a group of brothers and sisters that really, and their families who really loved me, cared for me, took care of me, prayed for me. And I really believe that it's because of their prayers and support that with the Lord that I am here where I'm here now today. And the wild thing is that when I look back, I know why he allowed that horrible, horrible, horrible 1 year delay. Um, because if he didn't delay that, he didn't allow that delay to happen, I would have not been able to stay in the States. I would not have found Jesus. I would not have found my purpose, my husband, my life here. Like every single thing, even though it's painful, God has a purpose for it. Let me just briefly share with you one other crazy story before I wrap this up. So I used to steal cosmetics from Walmart. Yes, you wouldn't have that guess that from me, right? But I did. And one day I got caught, and like the police were storming in. They handcuffed me, put my hands behind my back, and they put me in the police car, and drove me to the station, put me in a single cell for hours. I was just crying. I was just crying. I don't know what's gonna happen to me. Like, are they gonna deport me back to Indonesia? Like, am I gonna go to jail? Because Lord knows, like, I'm not gonna like I can't survive in jail for a second. Okay, that's not. Yeah, I can. Anyways, um, but the Lord is so good. He is so merciful. My goodness, like hours and hours later, like the officer came to me and he said, you're free to go, because we were noticed just now that we just, okay, the Lord's perfect timing, we just introduced a program where first-time offenders of a misdemeanor, like, we will not put this on their records, but they do have to do volunteer hours. And guess where the Lord put me? He put me in a church of all places to serve the homeless food. Like, my sin, like the curse that I deserve, the punishment that I deserve, He turned it into blessings. Like, my goodness, that is how, that is our God, y'all. He is a God of redemption, restoration. He's just so good. Look, like, if you don't know Jesus, man, you're missing out. You're missing out, because life is so hard, and I don't know how y'all do it without Jesus. Like, Jesus is everything. And if you know Jesus, know that He will never leave you nor forsake you. He's always fighting the battles for you, even in your darkest moments, even when you feel alone, even when it seems there is no way. Like, He is making a way. Now, it may not seem quick enough. It may not happen the way you want, or the soon you want, but He's always working for your good, even the things that you yourself caused in. So be encouraged that you're not alone in this battle. He is fighting for you. He's making a way for you. He is your light and your hope in the darkest moments.